Hey, how you doing today? I am Tequila Coleman. In today's video, I'm going to answer one of our standards question she sent in via our God Ordained Marriage website. Now, standards are those who are currently standing for marriage restoration. So, standards are separate from a God Ordained spouse. Okay, so let's read her question. She said, I'm divorced and standing for reconciliation. My prodigal is living with his counterfeit overseas and comes back to see the kids every 2 weeks. But he stays in my house and sleeps on my bed, but no sex. After showing him the ugly truth of his counterfeit, he went on to profess his love for her in his Facebook page. I feel divine separation is underway because he blocked me. We cannot do a complete separation due to him needing to see the kids. Do I just cut him off from the kids? Access due to divine separation. So thank you for sending in your question. So first thing is first, so you and your prodigal, y'all are divorced. He's living with a counterfeit overseas, and he come back every 2 weeks to see the kids, right? And so the first thing I want to address is because you stated you showed, I guess you was talking to your prodigal about the counterfeit and I guess her ugly ways or whatever, or her ugly behavior. You said after showing him the ugly truth of his counterfeit, he went on to profess his love for the counterfeit on his Facebook page. Now, let me just say, because I said this in a previous video, whenever you badmouth the counterfeit, whenever you focus all of your attention on a counterfeit and keep, like asking your prodigal, well, why this or why that, about the counterfeit, that pushes them towards the counterfeit. Okay. And as you can see in your own situation, you telling your prodigal the ugly truth about this counterfeit, it caused him to go on his Facebook page and profess his love for her. Okay. He see probably the same thing you see in this counterfeit. Okay. It's just that he don't see it as ugly truth. He like it. He love it. Right. So this is where you have to have faith in God in knowing that whatever, that's not to be, God is going to show this to your prodigal. He's going to reveal, the counterfeit motive. If the counterfeit has bad motive, you got to have faith in knowing that God is going to bring the correction where correction is due. But what you don't want to do is get in your own way and by highlighting the ugly truth about this counterfeit, because it places you in a position where now your prodigal see you as someone who is insecure and is unattractive, right? So we want to make sure we're not really talking about these counterfeits to our spouse. Don't even pay them any attention, because God made his covenant with the chosen one, not a counterfeit. Okay, so that should tell you right there that counterfeit, they have a time limit, they have an expiration date. It's not going to last. Okay. Now the next thing I want to talk about here, prodigals. One of the reasons why we're dealing with prodigals is because of a lack of immaturity and a lack of responsibility. Right? They're irresponsible and immature. Right? That's what I'm trying to say. And so this particular situation, again, you don't want to condone or even go along with your prodigal staying, in an irresponsible state, right? You don't want to keep him at this immaturity, state of mind, because your prodigal is living with a counterfeit overseas and he comes back every 2 weeks to see the kids. That's great. I'm all for the fathers being involved in their children's lives. However, he doesn't have to be sleeping in your bed when he comes see the children. The two of you are divorced. I know you said there's no sex, but the two of you are divorced, okay? So when you are in a situation where you and your prodigal has got a divorce, but yet you still are standing for marriage restoration, that doesn't mean you still allow your prodigal to come stay in your house when you know they would have counterfeit. No, ma'am. That means when we have children, and my prodigal is coming to see the children, he needs to have his own place. He needs to book a room to live in. He needs to have his own living arrangement already set up when he's coming to see the children every 2 weeks, right? Because if not, and I go along with allowing him to just sleep in my bed every 2 weeks and then go back to the counterfeit, I'm allowing him to have his cake and eat it too. I'm allowing him to still, even though we're not having sex, I'm still allowing him to experience me. I'm still allowing him to see, who's coming in and out of my house, right? I'm still allowing him to give me false hope that, things are moving towards us becoming a family again. You don't want to put yourself in that particular situation. Okay. So I recommend that you require for him to work out his living arrangement every 2 weeks when he's coming to see the kids. Don't keep the kids away from him. That's not what we're doing. But however, now it's time to move into dealing with him with co-parenting boundaries. Okay. It's time for you to require. I need you to have your own living arrangement set up when you come down to see the children, whether that is he's going to book a room, or he's staying at his friend's house, or he's staying at one of his family members' house. It doesn't matter. That's not your concern. See, when y'all got a divorce, that also means, that divorced you from all of this concern and responsibility, of being concerned about him and how, where he's going to lay his head at. No, let him figure that out. Hold him accountable. Okay. Now, last thing I want to say, because you was talking about divine separation. You're not in a divine separation. The two of you are divorced. This is just what it is. The two of you are divorced. You gotta handle your marriage. It's not a marriage, but you gotta handle your situation the way how it is. The two of you are divorced. So it's not a divine separation because y'all are divorced. He's in a whole other relationship with a counterfeit. Okay. So what I'm focusing in on here is now it's time to get this man out of your bed. Okay. When he's coming back every 2 weeks to see the children. I'm not telling you to keep the kids away. I am telling you to require for him to have his living arrangement in order before he comes to see the children. Okay? Because it's not fair to you or the children, to when he's sleeping in your bed, you don't know what messages that's sending to your children. Oh, daddy's back home. He's here to stay. Mommy and daddy is getting back together, only for dad to go and leave with the counterfeit. That's not fair. It's not fair when he up and leave and go back home to the counterfeit. Now you're left nursing a broken heart. Now, you're left with, wondering when God when. That's not fair. So require for that man to have his living arrangement in order. You're not in a divine separation. You're divorced. You're divorced. And it's time to move into co-parenting with boundaries with him. Okay. So that is my advice and my recommendation. I am Tequila Coleman. I'll talk to you all real soon. Take care.